All right, everybody. Uh, I am going to start doing this on a daily basis. It's something I need to get back to doing that really helps me a lot. Um, and that is a review of the markets, basically a prep for the next following trading day. Of course, on weekends, it'll be the weekend prep, getting ready for the next week, and then a daily prep to make sure that things are still moving the way we are expecting them to. Um, so, did I? Let's see. Drawings. All right, this is the 5 minute, so I need to do it on this chart. I don't know why I did it on the other one. S&D settings. Um, I've been playing with the charts. Macy, go lay down. Um, and have kind of figured something out for myself to do to make things a little bit easier in the way things show up. Um, Basically, I am using uh, LuxAlgo price action concepts, which is the paid indicator from LuxAlgo. And then I'm also using the smart money concepts, which is the free indicator, because what this does for me is smart money gives me the order blocks, or I'm sorry, I don't use, I've turned off order blocks completely, except for the ICT indicator that shows just the line for the order blocks. But I'm getting rid of the actual order blocks just to clean up the charts a little bit. Um, but on the fair value gaps, uh, on the um, let me see which one it is. I'm pretty sure it's the price action concepts, the paid one that allows you to show inverse fair value gaps. Um, and then the smart money concepts will give me just the regular fair value gaps. So using both of those indicators, I can now see fair value gaps, bullish or bearish, and I can also see inverse fair value gaps. So when they get flipped. Um, so I'm going to run my charts like that. Um, and one of the trading setups in ICT um, that I really like um, is time-based liquidity. Uh, in conjunction with the market maker models. Um, so time-based liquidity will be, previous day highs, lows, weekly highs, lows, quarterly highs, lows, all of that. Just searching out those highs and lows for liquidity, um, and kind of correlating that with the market maker model as well to see where we're trying to get to and uh, where the liquidity draws are. And then obviously fair value gaps being the internal liquidity um, and the time-based liquidities being external liquidity. Um, so yeah, that's that's what we're looking for. All of those. Okay, let me get this set up just the way, because I did it on the 1 hour. I don't know why I did all the changes on the 1 hour. Price action concepts is going to show. Um, okay, we're not going to do order blocks, so we'll get rid of those. We'll clean up the charts a little bit. This price action will show my inverse fair value gaps. Okay. And then it will also give me my highs and lows from multiple time frames. Okay, so that's what we're going to use the price action concepts, which is the paid indicator. You can mark these out. It'd be a lot harder to go back and find the quarterly highs and lows and stuff like that. So if you have the opportunity if you don't have LuxAlgo, just to get the price action concepts indicator really helps out with the ICT stuff. So I would recommend picking it up and using it. And then we need to go to smart money. Do I have smart money on here? I do not. So we need to put smart money on here. And smart money concepts is a free indicator from LuxAlgo. So that one can be used. And for this one, historical, we don't need market structure because we have that on price action. Do you want to show swing structure as well? And oh no, not on this one. Never mind. Just said we're not going to use that on this. Not going to use the order blocks. We are going to do the fair value gaps. And I have those extended 500 bars just so older fair value gaps will still show up when price gets to them. Hopefully. I mean, if we're looking at the daily on this, if price action goes down a bit, we may have to go extend these further to see some of that price action from a couple months back if we get down that far. So we're going to say that is default. Okay. And I don't know why I messed up all my time frames. Basically, I'm going to be using the daily, the 1 hour, the 15-minute, and I am going to be moving to the 1-minute chart for trading. Was trading off the 5-minute, but I think I've always liked the 1 minute. Gives me a little bit tighter stop losses, can reduce my risk a little bit trading on the 1 minute. So we're going to go there. All right. So basically, what we're looking at, I'm going to go through each asset, and this is going to be kind of a long video. So you can kind of skip around it if you're just looking for a specific asset that you only trade. If you want to see what my review is and what I think the market should do, or what it's telling us it wants to do, but I'll run through the indexes first, and then I'll move to crude, and then I'll go to gold, and probably look at Ethereum as well. I'm going to be adding a few assets because not every chart is going to have a setup, a tradable setup every day. So I would like to just have some other assets on, probably looking at adding platinum as well as gold and probably the euro um, for currencies and Ethereum for crypto. So now that we can trade crypto, I kind of like to would kind of like to watch Ethereum a little bit. Um, Probably won't be trading it for a while. I just want to watch it and see how the price action works since it is kind of a new ETF. I want to just get used to how it moves and uh, how it works now that it's an actual tradable ETF. Um, so yeah, I'm going to take one chart. We'll start with this one up here, and I am going to hide all of the indicators. Um, well, actually, I'm going to, let's see. Let's leave them up. Let's see what happens. So this is a daily chart, and you can see, all the way back from October of 2023. These fair value gaps still show up on the daily. Now, on the 5 minute or so, obviously they're not going to show up that far back, but this is why I extend them out quite a ways, just because I want to see all of it from before. So we're going to start on the weekly though. Um, and obviously you can see by the uh, gaps, and I got to figure out why those are colored that way. Uh, okay, that should be green. That should be red. All right. Okay, so as you can see by all the green fair value gaps and the last order block that we are definitely bullish at the moment. What I am paying attention to though is we came up, we did not sweep the all-time highs. Um, so price has failed to make a higher high. And what we do have is we do have a sweep of last week's high. Okay. So we took out last week's high. Let's turn our magnet on. That'll be a lot easier. There. I'll draw that out. Get it even. All right. So we took out last week's high. And on top of that, we have a bearish engulfing candle. Um, we are down into this fair value gap. So I kind of want to see uh, come Tuesday, you know, what are we going to do here? Are we going to react uh, and bounce off um, and go to make new all-time highs, or are we going to go down? This candle suggests that we're going to go further down. And if that's the case on a weekly, um, you know, our last consolidation was right down through here. Um, I guess you could call it here before the push up. So we could be in a market maker sell. Uh, to come back down to grab lower liquidity on the weekly. Um, but weekly, I'm not really looking for market maker models. I just kind of want to notice them just so I get used to noticing them. Um, the weekly, really, all I want to know is what did the last week's candle do, and what is it possibly telling us what the market might do the following week? And again, we did sweep last week's high. We did not displace through it. It was just a real quick, subtle sweep, and then we dropped um, with the bearish engulfing. So this suggests we're going to go lower. Uh, so if we were to put up uh, a fib on the weekly, then our 6.2 is down around 38,500. Um, premium starts at 38,838 for discounted pricing um, at the 50%. So, I would think if it is going to come lower, we are going to come down to at least the 50%. And we do have a really small fair value gap still sitting there. So, that is completely possible that we could come down to this fair value gap and see what the reaction is there. With this fair value gap being in premium pricing, you know, the concepts always say that we are searching internal liquidity and external liquidity and moving to equilibrium. So equilibrium would be the 50%, and there's a fair value gap there, so that is the most likely target. This fair value gap probably, even though it is a bullish fair value gap all the way up, um, I think we'll probably get inversed. Whether that will hold as resistance coming back up, I don't know. Um, we'll just have to wait and see. But uh, my expectations would be that we would at least come down to discount pricing at the 50% and this fair value gap. If not a little bit further, maybe down to the 6.2. But there really is no sell side liquidity around the 6.2. Unless it just grabs liquidity from the fair value gap all the way down to here and then takes off again. Um, but we'll just have to wait and see. So these are the levels I'm looking for. You know, the 50% at 38,838 and the 6.2 at 38,508. And then we would also, we do have I don't know if you could call those relative equal lows, but we do have some liquidity down here below this low that could be grabbed, or even down below this low. So uh, definitely some possibilities down on the sell side. Since we did not take the all-time highs, we just took last week's liquidity from that high. Um, we're going to be searching down. Okay, so enough on the weekly. The daily, we came up to the key level, which was the all-time highs, and we've now displaced um, from that. So uh, that is showing a rapid movement away from that level, which gives me the indication that we definitely are going to go down a little bit further. Let me go back to the weekly real quick and set my, I don't want to see that on the daily, I just want that on the weekly. I need to make some templates for the different time frames, so I don't have to keep doing that. So back to the daily. We had a good consolidation here. Below that, we have consolidation down here. So if we are working on a market maker sell model, I would expect to probably come down to here um, on this next leg down. Coming down to this to grab liquidity from here, and then pushing up a bit to somewhere, and then falling back down to here for the final leg of Yeah, we had some liquid. We had some, but that wasn't. That was, well, okay. We do have some here, and then we have the lows. So if we're going to complete, um, yeah, that completed the buy. Didn't complete the buy. Lower high. Let's see. Which, you know, this lower high didn't displace. This one really didn't either. This one, this one kind of did, but it didn't break the low. This one displaced and broke the low, so we definitely have a market structure shift here. Okay. That just doesn't look straight, does it? I guess it is. Okay. Um, Market structure shift here with displacement and a fair value gap. If I was a swing trader, uh, that was, you know, Friday was a touch of that gap and a pullback down. I would definitely be looking to go short on this. Um, we may hit this fair value gap, come back, retest this one again, and then fall down into the order block um, and see what happens there. Uh, my guess is this one gets inverted. We hit the order block, we bounce up, we hit the inversion, and we come back down to this fair value gap, these fair value gaps down here to grab uh, some liquidity down here. Maybe we grab the liquidity off this order block and push back up. But yeah, I'm really liking this uh, down here. Let's see. I do need to put this up on all of them, and I don't know why I haven't. But we need to see our time-based liquidities. And these are all going to be yellow, make them easier to see. Okay, so that is a previous weekly low. Um, and we really don't have anything between uh, Thursday's low and this daily low down here. So, other than the fair value gaps. So, if we are, if since we didn't take out liquidity there, I mean, we could always bounce back up and go grab that liquidity. But if we are failing and going to change trend, the fact that we did not make a higher high here um, is kind of suggesting that at the moment. And the displacement away from this level is making me more and more confident in the fact that we will now probably start moving down um, into a downtrend for at least a little while, back down to this order block at least. Um, so we'll just take it day by day and see what happens. But that's my daily bias. You know, Friday we did get our push up off of this bearish engulfing, hit the fair value gap, and pulled back down. So I'll be interested to see what happens come Tuesday morning throughout Asia and London to figure out what we're going to do in New York. So uh, that'll do it for the daily. Then into the time frames that we're actually going to be using and looking at. Um, the 1 hour. Uh, 1 hour we could pretty much say is completed a We still have a little bit further to go. I would say this would be the major consolidation that we would be looking to get to, um, and possibly sweep lows. So, we do have uh, the first displacement, some consolidation. We can see the second displacement to finish this model on next week sometime. Uh, we did have a manipulation move happen uh, on the Dow Jones after all the consolidation. We pushed down, took out uh, all all the longs, then we pushed up, took out all the shorts, and then we came down and actually took out that sell side liquidity that was sitting down there. Uh, Not quite all of it, but pretty close. So, you know, we definitely could pull back down uh, on Tuesday. I do think when I look at, we'll get to the 5 minute in a minute. Um, you know, so I would say that this was the beginning, the market shift. We took, we came up and we took that liquidity there from here and went down, consolidated, got our displacement, uh, got our got our moves, got our displacement, some more consolidation before displacement, and consolidation, and we have our manipulation move to the downside, upside, and then broke the lows. So I am looking on Tuesday for this to continue down. Uh, Now, that's not to say, I mean, this is the 1 hour, um, the 15 minute, uh, definitely uh, is looking the same. We're now definitely bearish uh, on the 15 minute, and our next, we have quite a bit of sell side liquidity built up down here on the way down for it to react from till we get to the swing low uh, and close to this time-based liquidity of the previous day's low. So I am definitely going to be looking to sell above highs um, next week unless I am proven absolutely wrong. Um, and we'll see. It could very definitely happen. This was a time-based liquidity here, previous day's low, um, but that was just Thursday's low being taken out. Uh, and this is why on the 5 minute, I think we could have a market maker buy model before we push back down, targeting this liquidity up here. So we did, like I said, we did take out the sell side on the 5 minute. We had our manipulation move, took out sell side liquidity, took out the previous day's low, but we did not uh, disperse through it, and that happened at 3 o'clock. So it had an hour to actually make a strong move, but it did not. So we failed to disperse. We failed to have displacement when it broke that level, which tells me that this is probably going to move back up a bit, maybe just to target this high here um, before rolling back over, um, or even possibly uh, coming up to grab this liquidity, which is really nice liquidity from this consolidation, um, and come grab that before rolling over. So on the 5 minute, I'm looking to complete this market maker model. I don't know if we get all the way back up to here, But I definitely would think we could target this liquidity above these highs here in this consolidation before rolling over. Um, so I will be looking for that on Tuesday. If Asia and London show us that kind of price action, I'll definitely be looking to buy under lows and targeting this liquidity up here for a move. If we can complete that and then show a market shift, definitely be looking for shorts from that time on. Since my bias from the daily, the weekly, and the hourly are all bearish at the moment. Okay, so yeah, that is a sharp turnaround on the 5-day moving average. We are definitely in a sell side, just depending on where this sell side is going to complete. But I do expect that lower time frame buy side to happen first. Like I said, maybe come and grab this liquidity and then roll over. But we'll see. So that is pretty much, we'll put this back on the daily since that's the daily chart up there. And for actual session trading, I'll be using the 15-minute as my higher time frame to see what's going on there. But I am going to start trading back on the 1-minute to get those tighter stop losses. And if I'm looking for 2 or 3 to 1s, they're a lot easier to get on the 1-minute. I can get the tighter stop loss, put on a few more contracts, and not have to catch as big of a move to get my 2 to 3 to 1s and be done for the day. So yeah, we've got some time-based liquidity just below this on the 1-minute. And if we squeeze that, really, that's all we can squeeze that in? Okay. And I need to redo my crosshairs and symbols. Okay. Oh, that's why. That's why that looked a little different. I was looking at the YM and the NASDAQ on the 1-minute. It's not good. All right, let's get rid of all our drawings. We did the YM, so now we'll just move into NASDAQ. And do the same thing. Start with the weekly. What did that last weekly candle do? Well, last week, or week before last, we created another fair value gap. We are in displacement move at the moment. And we came up and hit a previous quarterly high, and we did not just sweep it. We actually displaced through it. So we did have a pullback up there, but right now, I mean, we're still looking bullish until proven otherwise. I'm going to kind of watch this a bit because since we did take out that liquidity from the previous quarter and the previous week's high, you know, do we start our pullback at some point to come back down, or do we just keep going up? So this one's going to be a little tougher for me to gauge come Tuesday. So let's see what. So right now, NASDAQ on the weekly is bullish. Let's see what the daily looks like. We did have a pullback here, but then we had uh, yeah, we had our push up. Where did we actually break it at? So we pushed up, came back down, and closed with a uh, bearish engulfing. Well, that was red as well. So uh, we closed, we opened, we pushed. You know, that is a bullish engulfing candle. Just barely, but it is. Um, so this could actually just continue higher, um, even if it is just to go grab the previous day's high before rolling over. So definitely going to have to watch that since we do have a bullish engulfing. Um, the daily is showing us bullish. The weekly is showing us bullish. So right now, we're just going to have to say that we're bullish until proven otherwise, right? So we have a model going on here. We have this consolidation that we're in now. We had our push up from consolidation, then our push down. That put us right back into range. So uh, I would be looking for this to continue up once we get the market structure shift. I'd be looking for fair value gap or uh, something along that lines to get us into a trade long to go and take out this liquidity up here. So um, yeah, that's pretty much what it's looking like to me. All right, 15-minute. Again, consolidation, push, consolidation, disbursement, consolidation, manipulation move to go higher and take out this liquidity here, and then roll over. That is pretty much what I am thinking. So definitely be looking bullish on the NASDAQ. Um, and starting off the day bullish on the Dow, but overall still looking for when that's going to roll over, because everything on the YM is showing bearish movement at the moment, except for that 5-minute market maker buy that needs to be completed. So yeah, we will see what happens on this one, on the NASDAQ. Um, so let's move this back to the daily. I'm going to go back in and fix all of my indicators and everything and make sure they're all looking the same on all the charts. I would really call that a pullback to draw a fib on, especially since we had the bearish engulfing. This may go a little bit higher before we can pull a fib on the daily to see where we want to come back to, but I would guess somewhere right around here is going to be the 6-1. If we were to draw right now, yeah, the 6-2 is right around that high right there. So and we do have a fair value gap right inside there. We could sweep the weekly low into this fair value gap, and then see what happens from there. But right now, this still looks like it's going to continue bullish. So we'll see what happens on Tuesday with that. All right. Well, that is the NASDAQ. Yeah, because not all these are inverse. I got to go change my colors. Those should all be green. There's like one inverted one right here. So, yeah. I don't really trade the ES, but let's just go ahead because I know there's a few people in here that do. And let's see where we're at on the ES, which should be pretty close to the same as NASDAQ. Well, look at that. Look at that. All right. We're going to do something here. Turn the symbols off. And we're going to go to a two charter. So S&P is here on, that's the 15-minute. No, that's the daily. Okay. Daily, and then I want to put the NASDAQ over here and put it on the daily. Okay, well, that looks okay. Still got lower high, lower high. I thought we had, it must be on a different time frame, but I thought about S&T divergence here on the daily, but all right, so let's go back to our 4-panel, and we'll put our symbols back to the same. All right, and we will go to the ES again. All right, so 1 hour daily, that's 15-minute. And this is the 1 minute for trading. All right, so let's get back to what we were doing. I did not see what I thought I saw. That we did fall below the 5-day SMA on Friday, pushed back up and couldn't regain control. So this will be a little interesting to see what happens on Tuesday as well. Do we stay below that and roll over to go lower? Or do we, really to take out any liquidity that hasn't already been grabbed, because we just took out the previous day's high and Monday's high on Thursday. Why is that one still showing on this side? Because we took that liquidity out already and came back down, so I don't know why that previous day high is still there, or this previous week high, since we took it out as well on the way up. Okay. So we took out this high here and really didn't have much displacement. So we had one nice big candle down, well, one candle, then a nice big 2 candle, but this did not create a fair value gap because Friday pushed up through it. So, this is not displacement yet. until it creates a bearish fair value gap. So this could very well, this fair value gap could hold and we could go higher. On the daily. So NASDAQ is bullish. Obviously, S&P is going to be bullish. Looks a little different, but same concept. We didn't have displacement that created a bearish fair value gap on the daily, even though we took out liquidity. So we don't have a quick move away, which would suggest to me that we could go higher here before some more consolidation and a rollover if we get it at that point. So the 1 hour, yeah, consolidation, definite manipulation move to the upside, now manipulation to the downside, and back into range. So if we consolidate through Asia, I definitely want to see, which manipulation move happens and which way we get displacement for this. But definitely be looking for time-based liquidity to get taken out. Just not sure in which direction yet. So if we're looking at a market maker buy model, then we have room to go up and grab that liquidity again before. So pretty much same as NASDAQ. All right, let's go to, for shits and giggles, let's look at the Nikkei. Nikkei is all over the place, so let's look at the weekly. What is the weekly telling us? We came back in, we swept the highs, came back in, traded into internal liquidity at the fair value gap, set a weekly low, and now we're just grinding back up again. So I would look at either the previous weekly high or a previous quarterly high. If we hit one of those areas, look for a quick movement down. But this is on the weekly, so never mind. I take that back. We're just wanting to know what in the world is happening so far. So, okay, this was really close to being an inverted fair value gap. Just couldn't quite close above it. So, we could possibly invert this gap on Tuesday. I mean, really tried and then pulled back hard to close inside the gap. So right now, still looking a little bearish. We had consolidation, we had a manipulation move out, and the fair value gap is held, so this could very well roll over on Tuesday and come to seek some liquidity down here below these equal lows. On the weekly, I would say on the weekly that is still a bearish bias. We did not invert that fair value gap. It held after taking liquidity from these highs. So I am going to say we are still bearish here, probably looking for this previous week's low. So on the daily, yeah, we've just been building sell side liquidity here all the way up. just building it, building it, building it. We did not get well, there's our market structure shift there. So we did get a market structure shift. Let's see where we're at on that fib. We do have the order block below us, and we went below but pulled back and held the 6-2 on the body. This may actually come back down and hit that order block before going up. So I would be really careful about taking a long here at the 6-2, knowing that this liquidity is below us, previous weekly low. We have the previous day's low. So yeah, interesting to watch this. I don't look at it that often, so I don't really trade it. We made our higher high, now lower low. To make a higher low, if we hit this block, bounce up, hit this block, and roll over, that would definitely be a nice lower high to start looking for a downtrend. It has been an uptrend for quite a while. And so, yeah. Let's see what happens there. Again, like I said, I don't trade it all that much, so it's not something I really look at a lot. Yeah, market maker sell, structure shift, market maker buy, side up to order block or these levels here to watch what it's going to do there. All right. We won't spend a whole lot more time on that just because we don't really trade it. CL, let's take a look at the weekly. Well, if we're going to look at it this way, big displacement, some consolidation, and then we started moving up. Lower high, started moving down, pretty much in consolidation right now. We'll have to see what happens, but this could be, we could get some displacement back to the downside for a market maker sell model, but that is on a weekly chart, so that would take a really, really long time to happen. So we did sweep last week's high, and I wouldn't call that. I mean, that is an equal and opposite candle. So I would still be looking bearish. Although we did break the previous weekly low, but we didn't close below it. If we're going to continue lower come Tuesday, I want to see some displacement down through that. Otherwise, we could just sit here and consolidate for a while, which is very possible as well, and see what happens. All right. That's the weekly. Let's see what the daily is telling us. All right. So we did have, just barely. We did have displacement coming down, and we did just barely break the previous week's low, and pulled back. We have this daily order block here, so that could see us possibly moving back up. grab some of this liquidity up here. But yeah, I mean, just ranging right now. So we did sweep that. That could be a manipulation move to go higher, then take out the highs and then roll over, or we just take out the highs and keep going. We'll have to see. We've got two legs of consolidation, displacement, consolidation, displacement. If we get our manipulation move here, we could be looking to go back up and grab liquidity from up here. So on the buy side of the model, just gonna have to see, or we're working our way back down. Yeah, I mean that very well could complete the model right there, and have the push back up. So let's see what happens with that on Tuesday. No real clear bias since we may have completed the sell side of that. Still getting a little bit, still working my tail off trying to figure these market maker models out, where they're at and which side we're on. That was a definite displacement out of sweeping the previous week's low. We got displacement out of it on the 1 hour. We made our fair value gap. We hit it. We came back up. Now we're inside this fair value gap. So we're going to have to see what happens here. And we're below the 5-day SMA. We stay below it, make a higher, lower high, then roll over and go make lower lows. That looks like what it should be doing. Let's throw a quick fib up on this move and see where we're currently at. Tried to break the 7-2, pulled back and closed. Right now we're pretty well holding the 7-2 in this consolidation. So we're gonna have to see what this consolidation does on Tuesday, which way it manipulates to go. I am at the end of my day, even though it's early in the morning. So, yeah, the 15-minute definitely looks like this is the buy side. We've got our consolidation. That may have been our manipulation move. So we may start the sell side on crude oil on the 15-minute. Definitely to come down and at least hit this fair value gap, see what it does from there. But I would be definitely, since that manipulation move happened outside of this consolidation, that took out all the shorts. And now if we just continue down, we'll start taking out the longs. We have some nice liquidity built here. Nice liquidity down here at the previous daily low, and then the weekly low as well. So on the 15-minute, I'm looking to be a little bit bearish on crude oil on Tuesday. This looks like it's setting up to hit the sell side of this market maker model. So that's what I'm going to be pretty much looking for on Tuesday, is for that to start. I don't need VWAP. All right. Gold. Weekly candle. Let's see if it can tell us anything. All right. We swept the highs and we had bearish engulfing. So I am looking for a push down to grab sell side liquidity. which this previous weekly low would be perfect. It's right in the middle of a fair value gap, pretty much right at the 50% mark of a fair value gap. We'll definitely be looking to see what happens at this low. We do have a volume imbalance. It may want to come back and fix as well. So this is definitely looking short on gold. For next week, the daily, definitely we swept the high. We've had displacement down. We've made our fair value gaps. I would not be surprised to see this one inverted, this fair value gap inverted on Tuesday. If that happens, definitely be looking for it to retest and come down here to this quarterly high and take some liquidity down off of here. This could take a couple of days maybe, but that's definitely what I'm looking for at the moment. That's a pretty strong displacement down on the 1 hour. But it's also possible, we could get some consolidation in here before coming down and taking that liquidity. So yeah, after this displacement, I'm probably looking for a little bit more consolidation out of here. We'll see. I mean, if it makes its move, it did break the high of this range right here, took out the high, and then took out the low. So we'll have to see what happens if we get down to this previous day's low and see how it reacts. If we get displacement, then I'll be looking for a bearish fair value gap for it to retest, to go lower. So yeah, kind of undecided on gold. Do we see more consolidation before we get a better manipulation move for some displacement down or up? But it looks like we could have possibly finished the sell model here. This is a much better consolidation, I would think, with some really nice liquidity below that. So we could see, we may have already made our manipulation move, and now we just see a push down to grab this liquidity. We'll see. So I'm kind of undecided on gold at the moment, and I don't even think I need to go any further than that to look at it. So let's take a look at the euro on the weekly. Weekly, we're definitely in some consolidation here, and if we are looking at where are you? Oh, never mind, because that's on the weekly. We'll get that. I mean, it still should show them. I don't know why it's not. Yeah. Did we sweep below? We sure did. That looks like the completion of a market maker sell model. And that's on a weekly basis, so that's pretty awesome. Look at that. And we take the sell side liquidity off the weekly. So that's pretty awesome. Okay, there's all of our time-based liquidity. All right, what's the, no, wait, what did that actual candle do? Okay, not really much of anything. It came back into the fair value gap, left a little bit of it, pulled back, so that was probably a really good entry for longs. Uh, and we held the 5-day SMA, so possibly moving back up into the range. Um, Look and see, how it reacts when we get to some time-based liquidity on smaller time frames. The daily definitely had a pullback. We had displacement here. So if we were to mark that out, we came almost to the 6.2. We definitely hit the 5. Um, we did not sweep liquidity from yesterday's or from Thursday's low, and we didn't break Thursday's high. So we've got an inside bullish bar here. We'll see what happens on Tuesday. So right now I'm a little indecisive, other than the fact that we do have a little bit more to the upside of the model if this is going to complete, or if we just continue the downtrend. This would definitely be a lower high out of the order block to go lower. So see what happens. Do you want to take a look at the 1 hour? All right. We are back up here at this monthly low, have our previous day's high, some consolidation. Yeah, still in a little bit of a downtrend here. Looks like we actually broke the channel though. Let's just throw a channel up on this real quick. Oh. No, we're still in it. Oh. Yeah, I mean, we broke out of it here, closed outside of it, but came right back in. Now we look like we got, well, yeah, we actually did break it again. We've got a retest. This will tell us a little something on Tuesday when Asia opens. We did take out this liquidity, but there is more up here to take if we want to. And we did hit this order block and just we didn't displace off of it, so I'm kind of interested to see. We did get, a break above, maybe a manipulation move from this range, so we could start heading back down. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna leave that channel up till Tuesday and see what happens there. All right. So I really don't want to do Bitcoin just because it's so freaking expensive. What I do want to do is Ethereum futures. I want to add that to the watch list. And let's just go take a quick look. No data here. Really? That was off the CME, right? Yeah, Ethereum on the CME. Why do I not have data? Huh. Oh, I, no, I didn't want to do that. What did I do? What did I do? I did. I took it off the watch list. All right. So, anyway, ETH, Ethereum futures on the CME. There we go. Okay. Well, look at that. Nice little displacement up and a lot of consolidation. Manipulation move to the upside, then to the downside. We're back in this fair value gap. Interesting. We are holding the 5 days, so kind of watch that and see what happens. Kind of undecided about that, but like I said, just kind of want to watch Ethereum for. Oh, excuse me. Watch Ethereum for a little bit, just see where it goes. Sorry, I wasn't a little bit more detailed in this, just simply because I am way tired. Um, this just cleared out a volume imbalance and then had displacement to the upside with market structure shift. No, not quite. Didn't close, but very close. We'll have to see what happens there. That's on the weekly, but that looks pretty strong for a continuation next week. So yeah, just super tired, everybody. I'm going to go grab some breakfast and then probably pass out. Get my sleep in for the day. I got a load to finish up. Host is taking a couple days off at home, so I got to finish out this load and then come back and grab him. But yes, that is my weekend prep for next week. I will probably go over it again for myself, but that is pretty much my process for getting ready for the week. And then daily, after the market closes, I'll be going back and looking at the daily charts and the hourly charts to see that everything is kind of staying in line. So that we know which side of the market we need to be trading. Definitely want to start, getting a bias for the morning. I mean, obviously, if you take a bias into the morning, you want to be able to flip that if you need to. If your bias fails, but I think there is something to taking a daily bias into the market with ICT as compared to a momentum trader where you really don't want to be biased because you're willing to trade either direction. But with ICT using all these levels and liquidities, I definitely want to have a bias as to where the market may be going for the day I'm looking to trade. So yeah, still learning a lot, going through a lot of videos on ICT. I do like Casper, the way he teaches it. It's very simplified. It's not as complicated. Don't have to go through all the BS that ICT actually puts in his videos. So I've been going through a lot of Casper's videos and learning as much as I can there. We'll see how it works out next week in the trading. 'Cause I think I'm going to adopt a little bit of his insights into the ICT trading style. Um, and next week, my goal definitely is to be more patient, wait for the perfect setups, not trade just every level that gets hit. Don't trade every fair value gap. Don't trade every uh, uh, breaker block or anything like that. Just wait for these time-based liquidity levels to get hit and see how the market reacts on them, and then possibly take trades from there. But I think those are pretty much going to be the levels that I'm looking for during the trading session, um, to take trades from, instead of just trading from every fair value gap out there, because that just gets real noisy. And you know how do you decide which one's going to hold, which one's not? um, well, you know that's that's a hard thing to do. So, like Ethereum just came up, it bounced off of this level quite a few times, went down, took some liquidity, came up, finally broke through the level, grabbed some liquidity, but we did not have a displacement down from that. So it didn't grab liquidity and then take off, which makes me feel like, this could consolidate for a little bit longer and then continue moving up to come grab this liquidity here. We are in consolidation, so I think, since we failed to displace away from this level once we grab that liquidity, I'm going to be looking, if I were to trade Ethereum, I think I would be looking long here, to go get this liquidity up here and then see what happens after that. Um, so yeah, definitely going to be using my time-based uh, liquidity levels for uh, my key levels to trade from, um, which I think will make me a little bit more patient instead of just trying to trade every, 5 minute or 1 minute fair value gap. Um, that can get pretty darn difficult, especially if you're on the 1 minute. The 1 minute's really spotty on Ethereum. Look at that. Yeah, I don't really like that. So Ethereum definitely going to have to be trading at least the five. No, even the 5 minutes pretty spotty. Everything's pretty spotty. I don't think I'm going to be trading Ethereum. I don't like all these gaps, uh, with it gapping up and gapping down like that. Um, let's see, where would I have to trade for it not to be so gappy? Okay, the 15 minute looks, you still got some big jumps in there. The 1 hour, getting a little better, but yeah. Maybe we will have to go back down to Bitcoin, uh, and trade Bitcoin, because I don't think Bitcoin is as gappy, and I just don't like trading gappy products, because you could be in a short and this thing could just gap up above your stop, and just wreck you. So yeah, we'll take a look at Bitcoin later. I am going to end this video here, as I can barely keep my eyes open. But some interesting stuff. I really, really like Casper's setups, and the way he trades, um, using the ICT models. So I think I'm going to, I've already said this, I'm just rambling at this point because I'm so tired. So yeah, start using time-based liquidity uh, for entry levels, and uh, we'll start that next week. Be very patient. We've got plenty of assets to trade, so there's going to be, you know, there's going to be setups on multiple setups a day probably uh, with using multiple assets like that. So we'll see what happens. Uh, this week wasn't the greatest of weeks. We were trading. Me and host were trading, really aggressively because we've got those 250Ks from Apex really cheap, and we're trying to, kind of pass those before the end of the month. But the sales special is over, so we can't buy any more cheaply. So now we just kind of we need to be a little aggressive to try to get them passed before the end of the month, um, which I don't think is going to happen because what do we got? 1 week left? Uh, Not even that. Yeah, we got 1 week left. Um, so yeah, I'm probably not going to be as aggressive next week on those. I'd like to keep them, but it's going to mean that if I do pass them, I'm going to have to pay the $300 lifetime fee to trade them as PAs or funded accounts, and I'm okay with that. I mean, still, $300 for $6,500 in drawdown. Um, if I'm patient and wait for the right setups, uh, you know, it should definitely be worth it because you can still trade, a little larger size for a little larger profits on those accounts. Um, and we'll see, how it goes, how long it takes to pass them, what's our average daily profit running, taking the setups we're taking with our set risks. Um, and see how they work out. If it doesn't look like it's going to be feasible or worth it, then, you know, I didn't spend a whole lot of money on them, so I can, you know, cancel them or uh, just not pass them and cancel them if it doesn't look like, But I pretty much think that on those 250K accounts, that uh, $1,500 to $2,000 a day is very, very doable. And if that's the case, they're definitely worth getting past and paying the fees because I have uh, one, two, three, four. I have five of them. So, you know, you copy trade those at $2,000. Uh, I mean, let's even go low side and say $1,000 a day in each account. I mean, that's $5,000 a day. So, uh, I definitely will spend the 1,500 to be able to make 5,000 a day. So I'm absolutely okay with that. All right, I'm gonna quit rambling. I'm out of here. Hope everybody has a great Memorial Day weekend. Um, you know, it is a time to honor our fallen soldiers. So um, remember, don't thank a veteran on Memorial Day because that's not what this day is for. Um, let's just remember those that uh, pay the ultimate price in service of their country. No matter what you think about the wars or anything like that, uh, they signed up knowing they might have to cash that check one day, and a lot of them did. So let's uh, let's be thankful for them and remember them this weekend. Raise a beer or a shot glass for them, and we will see everybody on Tuesday for trading. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. We'll see you later.